అవునండి. There's mute. It says mute, but then there's not a thing there.
Okay, you're unmuted yourself.
You're there, right?
Excuse me, is he still there with us, Mr. Garo? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think I went to Facebook to see, and apparently, I had seen the original one say 12 p.m. Eastern time, which is
Yeah.
8 a.m. my time, right? And now, and now when I look back on the Facebook post, it's saying 1 o'clock. So I think Mr. Guerrero opened it up for people to join now, and then he'll be back here in a few minutes, like in 10
You
minutes.
saw a message while you were away, ma'am. The message was Garo has started recording. So it
Huh.
seems that he is with her, I guess.
Yeah, it says this meeting is being recorded, according to my screen. So yeah, I just went away because I had just woken up. I had to wash sleep away from my face. So
I'm in Indonesia, and the time here it was shown as 7 WTC. So basically, I am from India. I have come here to meet my son. He's in Indonesia and probably take him back with me. So it said 11 p.m. WTC. So I didn't really know what WTC is because I know American Standard Time, British Standard Time, IST, Indian Standard Time. So apparently it's happens so the WTC is Indonesian National Time. So
yeah,
where I am is now 11:49 p.m.
yeah.
The
So I
original.
think in 10 minutes it's going to start.
Yeah, I think so. I think we are early. It's almost 1 hour now.
Yeah, almost 1 hour. Yeah. So yeah, I got on because according to what I knew, we have East Coast time, which our daughter and her wife and her grandkids live there. That it's
Okay.
new. It's going to be was noon there, but now it's going to be 1 o'clock. So it's 9 a.m. because we're 4 hours behind. Because I live in Alaska.
Okay, Alaska. Okay.
Yeah. So Alaska's 4 hours, earlier than the East Coast.
So it's 8 a.m. at your place and it's 11:40. It's almost going to be 12 midnight here.
Oh goodness, it's late night there. I have had a couple private sessions with Garo before, reuniting me with some of my loved ones. A couple, well, probably at least a year or two ago.
Oh,
Um,
very nice.
and so I've had very good experience, and yeah, but I've had a lot of several more very close people die. Someone I call my other son took his own life. So
Sorry to that. I'm very sorry.
yeah. Um, well, he'd been in my life for 10 years, and my husband in my life, and we sort of kind of adopted him. He had a very rough growing up, and he'd always been on his own, and he
Yeah,
fought lots of demons in his head, and he deliberately killed himself with drugs. And he'd been living on and off at our house for like 10 years, you know.
I'm very,
So,
very sorry to hear that. I share your pain because till 8 September, I also enjoyed my life, but my wife was an Indonesian wife and she left me. She died. I mean, she was quite okay, but I lost her in 3 hours, less than 3 hours. My sister is a doctor, and my son was here, and my father had Parkinson's. So I was taking care of 2 years, and me and my wife were about to meet. Somehow, I'm not ready to believe this has happened. And I just want to know one question from 8 September. Who am I? That's a very important question. I want to ask myself, who am I? Because what have I done to suffer this? I lost my wife and I was taking care of my father. He's 83 years old. He's alive. He's well. And she was taking care of her mother. So we were doing actually went wrong. So that is the reason I changed my life. I've stopped all non-vegetarian food and I live a very aesthetic life. I've gone the spiritual way because I'm since that day till this day I'm looking for answers. I have also done a mediumship and the medium was there. She was from US and I didn't get all the relevant answers. I mean, very rudimentary answers I got at a very rudimentary level, basic. I want to go deep into this. And actually, I want to go so deep that I want to see that what is the spirit world, what is the soul, because my wife has several visitations. She had almost like maybe more than 30 times she has visited. And that's why I told Garo yesterday that she visited yesterday. Since I'm in Indonesia in 20 days, she didn't came in my dream. But yesterday she visited me. She was with my son and she told that I want to go to a particular place. We want to go. This is, sorry, this is the first time she spoke with me because I have been also doing some spiritual practices. And I felt that because I have no love, means it's like I have no my she was my happiness basically. So now all my happiness is gone. What should I do? So I'm living my life for my son, but I will continue my spiritual journey because this universe has answers. Each and everything, ma'am, which happens in our life and everyone's life has got answers. It is not that it is not going to answer. Many people say that you must have done something bad in your past life. That is why you're suffering. My sister is a doctor. She, a 55-year-old man, he came to her and she started. Normally, my sister is very professional. They don't talk to the patients and their family and all their problems. They just talk about the physical condition or whatever the health issue is. But he said that he was crying very much. He said why he was crying. So he said that he lost his son, and 6 months later, his second son ran away with a girl, and he never came back. So at the age of 55 and 60, he lost both the children, and it is such a traumatic thing to do. So she was trying to console me. She said that whatever happens, okay. So my question is, if I have done something wrong in my past birth, then let me see my past birth. I need to see, I need to understand. I will even try to do a past life regression that
depression, yeah.
what wrong I have done. Because things like this cannot happen. There are answers. I had a guru, spiritual guru. He told me 5 days, 7 days back when I was in my Indian house. He lost a lot of energy. He scanned my aura and he said that he can see a lot of green light and lot of blue light. Green light is because you have problems with you, and he saw. that three people are standing behind me. And I said that, can you tell me more about? And he said that one woman is standing behind me with a round face. My wife had a round face. I didn't tell this to anyone. I just told this to my son, but he's small, I don't cannot tell this. My sister is a doctor, and doctors they will never believe in all these things. I myself is an engineer, but now I'm into these things. So I said that, can you tell me who these people were? Because I can feel sometimes my wife is there. Sometimes I feel, it's like a research which is going on. Stop. Until my last breath, I will try to find out what has gone on. Because something is wrong, something has happened. With any person is dying is not a small thing, it's a very big thing, actually.
Yeah,
And something
and can I ask though, she must be very old, how she passed.
She was 48 years of age. My son wanted to buy a. Is it okay if I talk to about this? No, no, continue because I don't want him to hear. So she was driving a bike. She was just going down the slope. The slope was little slippery. So my son and my wife they both fell, and there was a person behind. He also fell, and both were admitted in the hospital. So she called me at 6 p.m. and she said to me, she called me and she asked me that, oh, urgently I need to talk with you. I said, so she was lying on the bed. And I told her that, honey, are you okay? Can you move your hand? Because when a person falls down, first we check whether his bones are okay, whether his limbs and hands are okay. So I said that you please move your legs and hands and you check if everything is okay. And she said that everything is okay. And then I was just relaxed. I was watching movie, and after that, after 2.5 hours, I called my son. I said that by the time you might be discharged and you must be in the house. And he said, no, Mama is serious and she's her health is deteriorating, doctor. I said, what? How? I just spoke with her. And then I called my sister. My sister was on the phone with the doctor. And then at 12 p.m., the doctor said that we have to do a surgery at 6 a.m. We need to take your permission for that. And by the time I said that, okay, I'll give the permission, and I booked the flight for Indonesia because it is an 8 hour flight. And I booked the flight for Indonesia. And the next day when I went, she was there in the ICU on the life support. And the doctor told me, the neurologist, the anesthetologist told me that her brain stem had stopped functioning. And for 5 or 6 days, I was with her. She passed away. We cremated her. I didn't realize what was happening. I really did, because I don't. When I came back in the house, the trauma took over. The trauma took over. I started missing her. And, the way I'm a very introvert person, I don't talk to too many people, but I used to talk. We used to talk to each other. And she was always a very cheerful person. But just in 3 hours, she left me. She had a history of stroke. She had a stroke last year, and that time my sister and me had guided her to a hospital. She had come to India also. She had a history of stroke, basically. Clot. She was overweight, but she controlled her weight and everything. And maybe I have done some mistakes. I am also retrospecting my life because it is not just that these things happen, not just because they happen because in our past also we have to retrospect. We have to go in past. Have I hurt someone? Did I say something bad to someone? Did I do this? Did I do that? Something has affected us. It is not that nothing is. Many people they pass. Many couples are there. They live till 80, 85 when they are very happy and healthy. You know. So some things happen, in 2020, one of my friend, he was very depressed. His wife had a divorce, and he told me, Sachin, please let me in your house. I feel like doing a suicide. So I let him in my house. I let him in my house, and this fellow used to always talk negative things. All women are bad, and this and that, just because his wife kicked him out of the house, and because he had an extramarital affair and everything. But I said that not all. He brought this negative energy in the house, and that is also something which I have to do research because staying with not lot
Okay,
of
hello,
negative
my
people.
friends. Sorry, I'm sorry about the mix-up with the time to begin with. Um, Such is the nature of the internet. I'm very sorry. It reproduced a wrong time here and there. But anyway, you're here. There are some people who joined earlier. I hope they will join back again. Today's session, as you know, is being recorded. This is a Q&A session relating to the paranormal and related to subjects relating to this paranormal. We will discuss things openly, freely, without being offending to anybody. And it's nice to see you, Kathy. Sachin, we haven't met before. You've contacted me many times on Facebook. So I hope that you will have some nice questions for me to have some good answers for you. Remember the golden rule, though, I don't have all the answers. So don't be disappointed if I don't have answers to give you. But we'll take it from here. Kathy, ladies first, do you have anything to ask, by the way?
Well, I don't know, Garo. I booked a couple more sessions with you that I haven't gone to, and actually, I was going to give them to my friends. You know, you haven't heard from me in a while. Just have had a lot of drama and trauma in my life. Physical health, which you said would would be coming, and it has. But anyways, but I did reunite with my girlfriend, which is good because you said we need to be the support for one another because lots of things have happened. But anyways, my biggest question is since our last meeting, one of the traumas was my ex, it's just really hard for me, I think I mentioned about, of course, my son had been a drug addict and went through all that, and he's doing well mentally, but he's had a lot of surgical things, but he almost died. He actually told me about how he could hear people talking to him, and he just saw white, and his friends were there asking him questions, but they said he wasn't answering those questions. He was talking to them gibberish. So I think he almost went to the other side. He didn't know what happened. But anyways, that's my biological son. And then the young man that he met in rehab 10 years ago became our other son and lived with us on and off, deliberately killed himself with a drug overdose. And I don't know why I ended up seeing somebody else, a different psychic medium, and her take was on it. I mean, this young man suffered, and he went to psychiatric hospitals trying to get help, and I believe the way that he was talking about different parts of his brain saying things, I was believing that possibly he was schizophrenic or different things, and we were trying to get him help. And my bio son says, Mom, I'm sorry to tell you this, but it's not going to end well. He said, I know it's not going to end well. And anyways, he did take his own life, and I've been having a hard time because I talked with his other psychic medium, and he said because he took his own life, he's going to have to come back and do a do-over. And it just hurts my heart because I know how much he's suffered already emotionally and mentally, and I don't know why he would have to do a do-over because he tried, he tried.
Kathy, I'm really sorry for your loss. Of course, this is a subject that's very painful. Number one, there are many psychics out there with their own theories. I don't know where they get their ideas and theories from. They make some of them up. And this is what really gives us a bad name. The main thing is, I would ask this psychic, what is your proof for saying what you're saying? Do you have proof to back this up? How do you know? They can't produce proof, but they can easily produce all sorts of nonsense. For me, as far as I know, and from years of being in this field, nobody is forced to come back. Coming to Earth is a matter of choice. It's not a matter of punishment. You're sent back because you did this or that. Your son took his life because he was in pain. How will that help him if we give him even more pain? No. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Some people say,
I
oh,
see where you're coming.
some people say, oh, He committed suicide. He's condemned to hell. Absolute nonsense and rubbish. Absolute nonsense and rubbish. How could you say that when you believe in God, a loving entity who loves us, who gave us his son according to Christianity? So this is absolute nonsense. People who take their lives need help, need care, need attention. They are not to be punished, they are not to be judged. They need help. So please remove that stupid idea from that silly psychic, because it has no grounds for you, okay?
Okay.
The wider picture out there is that of love and peace and harmony. People can make up their minds, people can come up with all sorts, but nothing will change the picture. Nothing will change the fact for what it is. And this is where we are.
Well, thank you.
Sure.
Making me feel better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've heard this so many times, 40 plus years in service. I hear people saying all sorts of things. The worst one was one lady who booked with me, and she happened to be here from England, and her son had also committed suicide. Her son came through with 2-3 beautiful sessions we had together, and he gave her unique and remarkable evidence of him being him and surviving. So anyway, then one day she went and saw somebody else because she wanted to learn to do astral traveling or something like that, so that she can come out of her body and sort of meet with her son. And she apparently went through the process and met with him, and he turned his back on her and moved away. So she freaked out. She called me repeatedly throughout the day, and she said, I desperately need to speak to you. And I told her, look, astral travel may exist, may not exist. It's a unique experience. What please don't take it to heart. You may have dreamt the process. It may not have happened. So she went back to that man, and he told her, well, if he turned his back, it means he wants to be left alone, and he doesn't want further communication with you. She lost the plot completely then. So she came back to me, and I said, absolute rubbish. This isn't how things work. I mean, I can't imagine myself turning my back on my own mom or my own dad if I'm in spirit. No way. So this is what people come up with. And it's all very painful to the recipient, to the people who have this glimmer of hope, and they come up with this nonsense. I'm sorry, I think I spoke a bit too much here.
No, I think that's explaining some things. Sachin and I had just been discussing some different things before you got on, and I think that some of that hits with him.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to ask?
Oh, no.
I'm going to do a session, I'll be booking session and whatnot later, but yeah.
Okay, but don't rush into it. Don't rush into it. When your heart tells you that you're ready, then you can book. But don't rush into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Kathy, do you have any other questions before we hear what Sachin has to ask?
Do you have any questions? No. Well, one more thing, probably. We did go to Vegas. My husband and I did go to Vegas just like a month or so ago, celebrating our 42nd anniversary. And we did see a psychic medium there in a arena. What was his name? His name is Matt Frazier. And it was a fairly small auditorium. And I don't know if you ever do group, readings like that, but this is my take on it too. A young, not super young, but younger, like in his, 50s, late 40s, 50s. And he was directly in the row in front of us. I mean, my husband was like cattywampus to him. and um, and this guy was hitting on his mother and kept saying things, and he was real hesitant and whatnot. But some of it he says, yeah, that sounds like it. But I heard my husband's mother 100% things like, okay, I'm sorry I didn't tell you I was so sick. I know how hard you tried to get here because he did. We happened to be, I had an consult surgery we had come from Alaska, and we literally was on the tram to get to that appointment in Seattle when we found out about his mother. And we literally had to get him, and it was in February, and we literally, 3 years ago, and we had to go to my appointment, and we were going to stay there, but my eyes were too bad. I could hardly see because the doctor messed them up. And so I came back, got on a flight back to Alaska, and we're in two different terminals, and he went from my daughter, got him to Vegas, and then Vegas, he was supposed to go to Boston, but they had had a snowstorm, so Boston was real backed up. So she just told me, get on and I'll get Dad here. And so from there, he went to Vegas, and she had to get him all the way down to Florida and then back up to Rhode Island, not Boston, but Rhode Island's pretty close. Anyways, he missed getting to her like 6 hours before. But, there's lots of different things. He'd mentioned about stacking up the pictures of the family. His mom did that, it was a shock to us. But so all these things. So could they miss, because we're so close proximity that it could have really been Bill's mother?
The physical proximity doesn't really affect very much. However, yes, they could miss. It's happened to me. I've had psychic demonstrations before, or mediumship demonstrations, where I would be saying information to somebody, convinced that that information is for that person. But it turned out that the information is not relevant to them, but to somebody in the group. It could happen.
It happened, yeah.
So
Because I felt like it was my husband's mother. Yeah.
It could very well be. It could happen. It has happened to me before. And it's quite amusing because you're convinced that this is the person to receive the information, but then you have to adjust the compass, as it were, and go to the correct person. When you go to the correct person, then it clicks.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy, he said, well, yeah, and he was sort of, and, I could tell that, and then some things he just shook his head, no, that wasn't clicking with him, but anyways, I think it was a message from my husband, from his mom.
I've seen Matt Fraser before on TV, so I don't know what to say. There's many celebrities, psychics out there. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them I don't think are genuine. I don't imply that Matt Fraser is not the real deal, but there are some that are not. I hope that he's good. Yeah, well done. I hope that you enjoyed yourself there.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. Yeah,
You made a lot of people cry.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Oh, that's my husband. That's Bill over there.
He made a lot of people cry. He hit a lot of people right in their heart when he was talking.
That's good.
So
Yeah.
That's good. The program, the TV show I saw him, he really moved a lot of people, which is when they cry, it's a good sign for me. It means that we are on the right frequency here. So that's fine. And I'm sorry, what's your husband's name, Kathy? I forgot.
Bill.
Bill?
Hi, sorry, Bill.
Bill, nice to meet you. Finally, at long last. I know you're the elusive one. You're always hiding in the corner somewhere. Yes, but
Yeah.
well, thank you. Honored to meet you. Well done.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Okay, please join us if you have any questions. Okay, I'm here for you.
He supports me. That's his main objective here.
Well done. Well done. Nice man. Very nice man. Good. Okay.
That's all.
Sashin, do you have any questions?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much, Garo, for it, and we are conducting this Q&A session. Actually, I don't have one question. I have hundreds of questions. I will only stick to the main questions because as you know, my life changed after 8 September. And for me, I am having a lot of dreams. First of all, in 2023, my mother, she expired on 26th January in 2023. And there is some kind of a number because my mother, she likes this date, January. She always told my sister that I don't like this date, 26th January, because her mother and her father, both of them also had means expired on the same date, 26th January. So she always told my sister that she doesn't like 26th January. And she passed away on 26th January. So this is one thing, there are several things which I'm trying to, encompass and trying to make sense of what is all this going on. Because what is going on is the main question for me. So this is there. After that, for 2, 3 months, I mourned my mother. She came in my dreams. She had a visitation. She was sitting very nicely with her Miss Indian woman, they traditional woman, they wear the sari. So she was sitting very nicely, and I was like, okay, I got over it. But after my wife went on 8th September, Garo, my life changed. I have totally gone the spiritual way. I'm only doing whatever is necessary to make a living and whatever is necessary to do. I am in object subject. I am right now in Indonesia as we speak. I am in my wife's place to get my son to India, Mumbai, because I want him to stay with me. So she has also visited me many times. Yesterday, I told you about the dream. She came and first time she spoke to me. So my question here is, dear Garu, that from what I have read, all these things I have only done once mediumship. That is a different thing. But I do a lot of reading because I want to get into core of everything. So it is said that when the spirit world, in the spirit world, when they miss us, when we are crying for them, when we are very eager, when our subconscious and subconscious, that also I am trying to find that where is the subconscious here in the body? It is there somewhere sleeping. So when it is totally they want and so they visit us to just console us, comfort us that yes, we are there. Is it true that when we dream, when we think about it on a subconscious level, they come and they visit us? So is that the way it is? I talked with this with my sister. She's a doctor. Not too much, just a little bit. There is no point in discussing this with doctors and scientists. She says that there is some chemical compound in the brain, that is why you dream. Nothing like it. And then I stopped talking because this has only to be spoken with people who are in the you are in a spiritual journey, you are a clairvoyant, you are gifted with the ability for so many years, it's a God's gift, it's a gift from the heavens you have. I only talk with those people who are well versed with the subject. So that is my, question that do the spirits actually come, or is it just our subconscious mind which is make soothing us, relaxing us that okay, I will relieve you of your pain, or do they come? Is it that is the question?
Uh, okay, first of all, allow me to say here, I'm very sorry for your losses, of course. It seems to me that you've had a
Mm.
catalog or a series of losses, each one more substantial than the other. And it has really taken it out of you. And I'm willing to bet that you're striving to sort of go on every day for your son's sake, okay? To stay strong
For
for
my son, sorry to interrupt you. My goal is that I want to see my wife. When I close my eyes,
okay,
without the sleep, I just want to. When I close my eyes, I want to see. And
okay.
for that, I'm doing meditation. I'm consulting gurus, and I'm that is my aim. I want to. That's it. That is. I'm telling you.
So
This is my aim.
let's go back to the date of 26. Uh, Personally, I'm not an astrologer, so I don't know if there is a link, but sometimes there is a coincidence, as it were. So a lot of people pass maybe on the same day, on the same year. There's whether it is linked or not, I don't know. But the bottom line is that they passed. Okay, so unfortunately, there's a lot of people again with different opinions about things. Uh, so, in the case of your sister, with all due respect, she's a medical person and she may be seeing the world from a narrow perspective, the scientific perspective, which is black and white, full stop. Yeah, but unfortunately for her, the world is not black and white. The world has many facets. So, I have many people who consult me who are scientists, doctors, nurses, law enforcement personnel, and people in government. So they are very scientifically minded, engineers and so forth. However, they come to understand that this is their view, but it does not necessarily reflect the reality of things out there. Okay? I may say, okay,
Yeah.
UFOs don't exist. Fine, that's my opinion. I may say that, but it doesn't mean that somewhere in this universe there is no alien or UFO. So everybody has
There
their
is definitely.
okay. So that's a different subject. So in this case, what I'm going to say to you is, I think what's happening here is in your quest to find some answers, uh, I think you've gone a bit too far, and you need to pull back a little bit. So,
Yeah, I think
uh, so you need to pull back a
I
little
think
bit
I'm
so
going
that you don't lose yourself to the unknown. Because let me say to you now, Sachin, nobody has the answers. And I challenge anyone who says to you that I have the answers. I challenge them because we don't have the answers. My communicator from the other side once told me, he said, even if you come to this side, even when you go to the other side, he said, don't expect to get the
yeah.
answers. He said, don't expect answers. You may start to understand something, but let me give you a perspective here. Can you imagine yourself explaining something like Bitcoin to a caveman?
No, no, cannot.
Exactly. Their mind will not be able to process, will not comprehend what the hell is this guy talking about.
That is right. Yeah.
And this is where our minds are now. We cannot comprehend it. We cannot understand. We cannot, but we can feel sometimes. We can feel. I know for a fact that there is something out there. I know it through the work that I do and the service that I do. But what it is and how it operates and why it operates this way, unfortunately, I don't know. All I do know is that sometimes I'm fortunate enough to bring people here on Earth to link with their loved ones on the other side. And that to me, I feel
Yeah.
is the limitation of what I can do. Where is the spirit located in our body? Nobody knows. Some people will tell you it's in your heart. Some people will tell you it's in your mind. Some people will,
Brain.
yeah, they'll tell you all sorts of nonsense. Some people will tell you, I laughed at this. They say the spirit, the size is this small. Yeah, like you've seen it.
Yeah.
How do you know it's this small? How do you know it's not huge? How do you know that? Yeah, what
Yeah,
are
actually, as per our mythology, what spirit you're talking about is the Jivatma. Jivanu. It is very small, and they say the seers, like here in India, what I have heard, that it has got quantum memory. It has got all the memories of your past birth, your past karma, and your past birth. And this is how we have cases of reincarnation regardless of the religions. There are so many in America, Europe. The children, they remember their past lives. They say to their dad that this is I and this is I. Some of them even have gone in their houses. So I don't know about other faiths, they say about reincarnation or not, but this little tiny object which is there, object or whatever it is, it is there in someone. And even it is said, what I have read, Garo, is that even we are breathing and breathe out is controlled by this tiny object. And when it leaves, when it knows that the body is no longer of any use to it, or it is depressed, or it has got cancer, or whatever it has, it will leave. And when it leaves, the pran, that is called as, means the person finally goes. Now there are hundreds of things into it. People die in accidents, people die in this, people die natural death. You know, many people in India, there was people were going to pray for God. 20 people died in a stampede. So the question I asked to one guru, that these people were going to do some good work, some good job, good work. They were going to pray. Then why their life went? Who took their life away? Why? These are all many questions I have. And this
okay?
is why, Garu, I'm always trying to
Okay.
understand that.
Let's go back to the size of the spirit. With all due respect to your religion and the faith and whatever. Uh,
Yeah.
now, from what we've seen all time and time again with people who have taken photographs, there's an accident, and we see next to the car, for instance, or the accident, we see a full formed body, standing person, a shadowy sort of figure. This has been consistent quite a lot. So, as far as I'm seeing, and we're talking about what we're seeing here in the photos that show us, spirits, we don't see them as tiny little dots. We see them as full formations. So, who knows? Maybe it is a full formation, maybe it is a dot. Why should I care? Who cares? As long as I know in my heart that somehow we survive this and we go somewhere. I'm prepared to go as a rectangle, a small dot, or a triangle. Thank God for the opportunity that we go there. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So with regards to the 20 people who died in the stampede, it is very unfortunate. And I'm very saddened to hear of good people.
It is just one way of saying that it was mismanagement by the people, human error. There are so many
That's it.
things. Many
That's
people
it.
die because of negligence.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
it. That's you.
Now, if
You answered the question here. The question, the answer simply is human error. People should organize themselves
yes,
better, and there would not be a stampede.
yes,
Simple as that. But
yes.
people look into it deeply and they say maybe they were punished because they did something in their past life. Yeah, right. Okay, well, that's easy because let me tell you something. In Christianity, when Jesus picked up the stone and they told him, aren't you going to stone that woman? She's a sinner. And he said, whoever is without sin, pick up the first stone. Nobody,
Yes.
nobody, yeah, which means that we all have our past, be it in this life or the previous life. So no, this is rubbish. So some people are.
I was actually educated in a convent school, so I also read verses of the Bible, and
Okay.
he was like a great man, gave his life for humanity,
Yeah.
for his sins, he gave his life. He even knew that that guy was going to betray him, but
Yeah.
still he didn't do anything about it
No.
because he was a great
Yeah.
man.
So this is.
I,
I mean, a lot of people they ask me, why did my son die in a car crash? What did he do? Why? And I say, look, it's human error. There was an accident. Or they were driving at night when they shouldn't be driving. They were tired and they hit a truck. Why did they die in a plane crash? I say again, it's technology, human error. Most of the problems that we have now is because people are not focusing on where to save lives, meaning we are spending billions of money all over the world on arms, on technology to kill one another, as opposed to spending all this money on technology that could help
friend, let's
and
interrupt
save
you
lives.
about the flight you said people die in a plane. There are incidents where planes have crashed and everyone has died, but one person has, and there are several. One person was just stranded to his seat, and even he had minor scratches and he survived,
Yeah,
even after failing.
yeah.
Then this one person might have his time has not come, or what? Other people died, and his time was he protected by angels? Or were some forces protecting him? Some of these are some of the questions,
Well, who knows? What I know is they tell me
Oh,
maybe he was saved because he was pure, but there's also children on the plane, and children are purer than us. So whoever comes up with
oh
this,
yeah,
yeah, we don't know. But I put it
too
down.
complicated.
I put it down to simple coincidence. It just so happened that this guy survived. The same way, like a train crash and one or two people survive while everybody else, and they say, wow, it's a miracle. Yes, it's a miracle, but they survived because they were lucky, full stop. Um,
Okay,
unfortunately,
okay.
unfortunately, a lot of people take things a bit too far with the karmic experience and the saying that karma and the punishment and so forth. Um, I don't support that sort of theory.
Without, thinking. So, my last question, because I can ask. So, when you hear the means the words, the voices, I'm sorry that I am very naive in asking these questions because I'm at a very rudimentary level. So when you hear this voice, is it like suppose a particular voice, or is it the person, is the spirit of the person or the loved one who is gone away, the particular different voices every time, or it is just the one voice? So what exactly you hear it?
Okay. First of all, never apologize, please, for any questions. Uh, I
Yeah,
I am more impressed with people who ask than people who pretend to know. So please ask. This is why we're here, and we're
yeah,
here to
okay.
share information. So I don't usually hear them, Sachin. I don't usually hear them in my head or in my ears, like externally or internally. I don't usually hear them. Very rare occasions, I would hear them and I would feel what they're saying. I would hear them like I'm hearing the voice in my head. Very rare occasion. With me, the way it works is I feel them. I feel them in my heart or my mind. I don't know how to explain this, but I feel them. And a lot of the times, in fact, 50% is feeling, 50% is visual, where they send me symbols, pictures, and so forth. Sometimes they will start saying things, and if I'm lucky, I would catch it. Okay. Uh, so that's how it works, but mostly with visual and feeling.
Yeah, Sachin, I'd like to interject here. You know, you and I were talking, but like one session with Garo, he actually ended up with my best friend's mother. My best friend, I've known her for more than 50 years. So this was like also another mother to me, right? And he hit on several things that she was saying that she would have said. And, you know, first of all, I know you were telling me you were thinking that maybe you did something in a past life to have all this emotional trauma with all your wife dying so young and so shocking and all these things, but I don't believe that. I believe God is love, first of all, and whether we call him God, Jesus, Allah, I think we're all worshiping or the same entity, right? I
Yeah,
don't think being it's God is God, is supreme being who's the head of all this wonderful thing that we call life. But like Garo hit on specific things, like actually she died of cancer, but he didn't say that. But he said certain things that she keeps showing me her legs. He says, I don't know why she keeps showing me her legs, right? And you know, just different images that he got. And in all actuality, before she died of cancer, she had had a stroke, and she was trying to relearn how to do rehab to get her legs working again, right?
oh,
But do you see what I'm saying? So, and she never did regain that because that's when they found out she had invasive cancer and she did pass of cancer. But there's certain things that she showed him, and you know, and there's certain things that you know I've prayed to God to get signs and symbols, right? And their energies can do things, you know, and like not so much I haven't had so many dreams, but like I kept praying for her. This is before I talked to Garo, right? One time I heard, you know, I kept saying, show me that you're, you know, she and I believed on the same level. And she said she would, you know, let me know type of thing. And it had been like at least a month. I was home alone and all of a sudden I heard squeak, squeak, squeak. Like, and I have dogs. I had three at the time. I have two now, but two were sleeping in bed right in the same room and one was downstairs. And I looked around and I thought, and I was hearing it really loud, okay? And then I got to the stairs in my home and I heard squeak, squeak, squeak a second time, okay? And then I ran down the stairs. Well, I've got bad knees. As fast as I could get down the stairs, the other dog was on a bed in sleep, right? And I heard it the third time. There was no possible way that any dogs, and matter of fact, later my husband told me we had done a foster dog and had ripped all the squeakers out. We don't even have a toy that squeaks anymore in the house, right? We had balls, we had other chew toys, but we didn't even have any squeakers in the house, right? I know I'm not crazy, right? But it's like telepathically, I heard her say, and she has a sense of humor, which Garo hit on. She's quite funny, right? She goes to me in her exact words, and I heard it in her voice. I heard it, but I didn't hear it in my ears. I heard it in my brain. She goes, what'd you expect? She said, how else was you going to know it was me? Because she had a love for dogs like I had a love for dogs, right? So she did it through a squeaking of the balls that we didn't even have here to let me
Okay.
know, right? So it was like a thought, and I heard that, in her voice, and I could, and then in my mind's eye, I could see her smirk, you know.
I also had that kind of experience just this one time, and maybe it was my mind playing tricks, or I don't know. It was 3 a.m. roughly, and in my ear, it was my wife's. I can distinctly remember. Of course, 17 years we had been married, so I cannot forget her. She said this to me. Exact words were, "Honey, someone has done something to us." Now, look, I'm not telling, see, we come from a totally different cultural and this background, we are totally like you are in a different background and I'm in a different background. So, and Mr. Garo also, everyone is, we have all our individual personalities and thought process and also our will, you know. So, when she said to me that, honey, someone has done something to us. See, the thing is, no, ma'am, that I had a very happy life before, and I used to work out and I had a good physique. Now I look kind of old, but I used to look like I used to use serums and all that, and not a lot of people were happy with me. And I told you that this fellow who used to sit, he had lost his wife, he had lost his house, he had lost his sons, didn't want to see me. Maybe this negative thought, something has happened, that is, I mean, I don't know. Means it is a part of a, see, if you think positive about some person continuously, if you keep on thinking positive, then I think positive will happen, because our mind could have the power to influence things, our mind could have the power to influence things. If a mother says, oh, my son is going to be a doctor, is going to be a doctor, is going to be a doctor, and think he will turn out to be a doctor, because mind actually, what I have read, it shoots. Once you think something from here, it shoots in the universe, and that thought can be manifested. Sometimes when I used to think that, oh, in with a fight with my wife, oh, I don't want this woman at all. Oh no, I wish she just goes away. That also is very dreadful, because what you think, certain people, they are very, they are vibrating at a very high frequency, and they say something and something can happen. That is why I'm afraid of myself. Even telling something no to someone, I'm afraid of myself. So that is why I'm saying, Mr. Garu, sorry, sorry, sorry again. I was not like this before. I was kind of rash and I was had this attitude with me. I'm something, my ego, 50% of my ego was cut after 8th September. I became a very humble person and a God-fearing person and a spiritual person and a person who is asking daily, who am I? Who am I? I want to see myself. Who am I? And why I'm retrospecting all the things, because I had not done too many bad things. See, my father had Parkinson's. I used to take care of him. This one time, he used to wake me up at 3 o'clock and he used to say, Sachin, I can see two ladies. One man is flying on the top of the fan. And I told him that, Papa, what the hell? This is in the middle of the night. You're waking me up and you're telling that you're seeing two women and one woman and this and that. And he's floating around and this. What the hell? I mean, middle of the night. Once what happened, I lost patience. See, the thing is that I didn't keep a caretaker. My sister told me to keep a caretaker. But I said, no, I can take care of my dad, and he was also quite happy with me. So once in the night, we had a scuffle. And in that fit of rage, I'm telling Garu, I'm telling you everything. I put a cup of water was there and I put it on his face. And that was the most horrible thing I did. I cried the whole day. I apologized to him. I said, Papa, I was not in my senses. It was 3 a.m. in the night and I threw water on you and I cried the whole day. And he said, father and mother are always, no matter how much children will trouble them, they are like, they are like God, we consider, because they will always forgive their children, no matter how bad the children are. So he said, no, son, I forgive you and everything. But what happened is that I already did a very bad thing. It was recorded somewhere that this guy, he threw water on his father's face, and that have repercussions. That will, I told to one also that whatever actions we do, it will have repercussions. If we even subconsciously, if you think, I wish this person was dead, or I wish this person, that is also, you're doing something bad, you're wishing something. That is why I changed myself, because now I have just my son. I don't have anything. I have got no, what you call, no attraction for money and all those lifelong things. I'm just trying to do my spiritual things. Because that event of losing my wife was, my mother was okay. She was 80 years of life. She lived a happy life. She was very happy with the grandchildren. Her granddaughter is a doctor. My sister is a doctor. My grandson, her grandson. So she, because she always believed in education. And I was this guy who was never stable, in my mind. My mind always used to flutter here and there. And she always told me that you are very unstable, you don't, your mind doesn't stick in one place. Why you are like this? I don't know why I am like this, why I am like this. And when she was delivering me, like that was
Can
47
I
years back.
can I stop you there, please?
Sorry.
Because there's a lot of things here to process. Uh, with regards to the story about your dad, first of all, I'm very sorry that your dad had Parkinson's. I know exactly what it is like to live with somebody. My dad now is suffering with it. It's not pleasant at all. It is draining and it is very, very painful. Parkinson's, my dad has also dementia on top of that. So it's both are
Oh, my
very, very painful. Okay. So I want you now to understand one thing, and I'm telling you very clearly here. You pouring the glass of water is just steam. You're a human being. You lost it. Okay. You're not being
yeah,
sick.
I lost it at
Yeah,
my
you
age.
lost it. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. You're a human being. Waking up at 3 a.m., if I was being woken up at 3 a.m., I'm not going to be very pleasant either. And if I'm waking up,
We used to do that.
okay, it's not, so it's justified. Where it is not justified is if you are intentionally hurting, meaning he's going to have, let's say, a bath, and you push him intentionally just to hurt him, or things like that.
Oh,
That is inexcusable. Okay, but waking up in the morning, you are not in your mind, and you're tired, and you're on edge. You grab the water, put it on his face, fine. And he told you, he said, look, you can't hurt me. I love you. You're my son. This is what parents do. Okay? So that's perfectly fine. Please put it to one side. I will refer back to our Lord Jesus from our religion. Forgive me, I'm ignorant about your religion. But from my religion, I know two incidents where, for instance, Jesus went up to the fig tree, figs, the fruit. And he went up to the
yeah,
fig
I like it.
and he wanted to eat a fig. He looked, and there's not one good fig on that tree. What does he do? He cursed the tree, and it dried and it died. Yeah, this is
Oh,
Jesus. And next is when he went into the temple to pray, and he went in and he found that they turned the temple into a shop, like a bazaar, and people selling things and so forth. He took a stick and
yeah.
started beating the shopkeepers and everybody else.
I know that. Yes, I know that.
So the story here, the moral ground is we react, we are human. So even the master of masters, apparently Jesus Christ, even him, he lost it when he saw that there's no fig on the tree. He didn't say, okay, let's move and find another tree, or to hell with it, today I'm not going to have a fig. He became human in that instant and cursed the tree. So, Sachin, it's okay unless you actually intentionally hurt someone. And I'm saying a living being, like an animal or a human being, when you do it for fun or pleasure because you're sadistic or you're nasty, that's when karma will wake up and come for you, but not for a glass of water. Oh, come on, it's okay.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because I think, he's an old man. He's a 83-year-old man. My wife also told me he cannot defend for himself. So you have to be more patient and you have to be more gentle. Now he's a very good caretaker. He's
Yeah,
84 now and now he's okay. But two
that's
years I took a lot of care of him, changing his diapers and everything.
okay. That's more than
So
enough.
this,
That's more than a lot of what people do. That's more than what a lot of people do. Okay, most people in this situation, they grab them, they throw them into somebody else's care. You, as you said, 2 years you looked
yeah,
after him, changed him, dressed him, washed him. So a glass of water, come on, that's silly. And your dad would know. He would know. So forget about
Yeah,
it.
he knows he's a totally different person than what I am. He still loves enjoying his life.
Yeah,
He still loves eating meat. He still loves everything, you know. I mean, I don't know my father at all. I mean, I am such a spiritual person, my mother. It is like we are totally from a different worlds, me and my father, you know. That is why I'm even trying to understand that what my father is, you know. Yeah, I mean, he is in such a bad condition, but still he wants to enjoy his life, you know.
good.
Anyways, that is a different thing.
Look,
All
I
are
uh,
individuals, I guess, different.
your story reminds me of a comical story that happened with me, and I'm going to share this to give Kathy a tickle. Uh, a long time ago,
Hey, by the way, my ex-husband not only lost his other leg, right, but he lost his life too. That's another loss.
yes,
All this
you,
my father told me
you
that
remember?
he wanted to
Eh,
have a massage. I told him that at age 81, why do you need a massage? You know,
sorry,
why do
Sachin,
you need a woman?
Sachin, I was saying something. Sorry,
So
wait. So basically, a few years ago, Kathy,
oh yeah.
I'd had a few beers, and I'm sitting in the front. Then I decide my wife was saying something, and I didn't like the subject, and we had an argument. So I went to bed. And Sachin's story just reminded me of what my wife did. I drifted off to sleep, and next thing I know, I've got beers being splashed all over me because my wife was really angry.
Here,
Yeah, she poured the beer on me, and she said, "There you go. You don't want to
there
talk.
you go.
Yeah, enjoy the drink." So, so it happens. It happens.
She still loves you, but she's just like,
Yeah. So,
needed to do it for the moment.
so
these are very strong bonds. Actually, not they cannot be broken. You know, wife, son, brother, children. You know, I saw your post in which you had said that who is waiting on the other side. I hope my when my time comes, maybe my wife will be waiting for me because there are things which are unfinished. There are unfinished things. Now, who is waiting, who is not waiting, who is going to bond with whom, that answers we don't like. Like you said, dear Garo, that we don't know, we don't have all answers. That who is actually going to wait for us, you know,
we don't
because
know.
death, as we yeah, we don't know. Death, as we speak, is just a unconsciousness. It's a deep sleep, you know. It's not a REM sleep or it's not a swapna avastha. It's like a waking up from a dream. So we don't know. I know that I have not much desire left. It is just an object-subject relationship. My house, my money, my this. When my time comes, also I am thinking that hopefully she will be waiting for me because she was a very nice woman actually. She was 10 times better than me. I am a selfish man. She was an unselfish woman. When you meet unselfish woman, just why I'm telling you, sir, that why Jesus, means I also went through his lifestyle, anything for himself. He was only giving. The last part is that he sacrificed his own life for the humanity. So one person who is doing sacrifices, like I am like a selfish person. Today, even at the age 83, my father asked, "Do we have the money? What did you do about the money?" I said, "What are you going to do about the money? Don't worry about the money. We have enough money to do everything, you know." So he's that is the moho, you know, the temptation to, oh, this is mine, oh, this is, and my wife was so unselfish. Once I asked her, and she said, "My whole body and everything is yours." You know, the way she conducted herself, you know, I'm a selfish man. Everyone is, the selfishness of everyone lies from level to level. Many people are too selfish. They just don't want to share anything. I'm in a way selfish. I admit it, egoistic, selfish. That is all going away. I have also started giving now. But actually, I didn't deserve her. Actually, I did deserve that. She was a very nice woman. I did understand. It's too late now, Garo. She has left. And now I remember everything what she was. You know, very, very unselfish woman she was. I didn't understand in the nick of the time I should have. That is all about your awareness. Now, for you, my friend, your awareness is at a peak level. You know, that is why you can sense things. You are given the God gift. I always thought that something in me which is always telling me, do this, do that, do this, do that. And but that awareness had gone lost somewhere in last 2, 3, 4 years. Awareness is very important. Once I lost my awareness, the awareness is like it will always tell that you do this, you do that. Your awareness level is so strong that you are getting the symbols which you are seeing and everything. My awareness had gone somewhere. And I always felt there's this invisible thing with me, which always is telling like a guru, it is telling you do this. But I don't get any clear signals from this. I had a signal 3 months back that there was something telling me, don't let her go on the bike. Don't let her go on the bike. And I told her, honey, you don't go on bike on a long distance. Only short distance. I did. But there was something. What if she falls down? What if she falls down? This whose this voice is coming. I am not thinking this. This is something when I'm silent, it was going on. And exactly that happened. She fell down from the bike and she passed away in a very unusual manner. She was okay till 6 p.m. 9 p.m. They say she's unconscious and all that in 3 hours. I had no awareness. I was just sitting like that. And I had eaten a lot of meat on that day. A person when he eats a lot of meat, he will get little bit more relaxed and more heavy. So I have stopped eating meat also. I have stopped that. I do meditation, my friend. I want to get to the bottom of this. It might happen that in this lifetime I might not get there also. I might not get there. Not everyone is gifted with everything, but I'm trying. I'm trying to see. Maybe it is too late. Maybe you are saying that I'm overthinking. That also might be the case. But my life is, that, and I can see so many people are there who are like, me. They are also in so much. So I'm overthinking, but it's okay. I will try my continue. My age is also 48. I have glasses now. I can't see to read books. I have to use the glasses. So
Okay,
I will read.
Sachin, please. Well, I need to know exactly what your question is in all of this because I'm a bit confused. You have a question here?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have a question. I just told you everything. I think I got most of the things from you, Garu.
Okay.
And yeah, I think
With,
I
with
got most
regards
of the
to
things.
with regards to you saying about yourself, revealing to us here and sharing with us that you are or you were selfish, very selfish. Okay, I
Yes,
respect that. I respect that you're open about yourself and you acknowledge you're failing. We all have failings. It's perfectly normal. We all have our problems. We all have our issues and challenges. So, in your case, you realize what your enemy is, uh, and you know what you need to do. But I would say, again, I need to remind you don't go necessarily to the other extreme. Okay? Just become aware of it and, just go to the middle ground. So what I'm saying is tomorrow don't go out and give out your life left, right, and center to counter the feeling of being, oh, I was selfish, so now I've got to give everything away. No, just the middle ground. Just realize that I had this way,
yes,
and to change a few basic things, okay? Because you need to be grounded as well. You have a responsibility, which is your son coming up, your father, different people, okay?
yes. I got. Thank you. I got most of the answers.
Yeah.
I will also continue this journey. This spiritual journey. We will have a session also once, and I will continue my spiritual journey. I will not stop because the things are what they are. I think I didn't go to your past life, but I think you also had some kind of event in your life after which you also went in these fields of helping other people through clairvoyance. There are certain sometimes people, otherwise, I would be watching Netflix movie somewhere, enjoying some nice Chinese noodles. And if my on the event which didn't happen on 8th September, I would be, I mean, who likes this life, meditating for half an hour and chanting mantras, and who likes this? Everyone wants to enjoy, the body wants to enjoy. I would be eating very nice, some yummy meal, watching a good Netflix movie. Or there are a lot of good American movies, this, that, lot of movies are there. Not only American, every movie, Japanese movies, and enjoying my life, chilling out. Who wants to do all this?
Then what's to stop you?
Then
Then what's to stop?
8 September, September was the date. 8 September was the date in which I thought that. nothing, everything was so nice. And within a matter of hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, everything changed.
Okay.
Now it is, people have turned, it has become upside down. What am I
Okay.
going to, okay,
Uh,
what this movie is, I mean, these are just characters. Just like we are all characters, we are put here on this planet as characters. We are playing our role. Someone is a father, someone is a mother, someone uncle, auntie, someone is a president, someone is a good man, someone is a bad man. They are all doing roles, there are role playing.
Sachin,
Who has put us
you
doing
had
role?
you had an impact. You had a loss on the September the 8th, which has been a
Yes,
very big shock for you. And I feel that
yes, sir. Maybe.
you have become displaced from yourself. So, number one, I would very strongly suggest, I don't know if you have been seeking it, but perhaps you should consider speaking to a professional to help you realign yourself.
Okay.
Okay. So, number one.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Number two, I feel there's an element of self punishment here as well. You are depriving yourself. You
Yeah.
are depriving, yeah. And maybe you feel like, why am I here? And she is passed on. Why do I deserve it? I don't deserve to be here. I don't deserve to be alive. She deserves to be alive. She's nicer. Maybe there's this as well. So there's a lot for you here to consider. But I'm going to tell you one thing though. Your wife physically passed away. I'm very sorry. But in spirit, she's in your heart. She's in your eyes. She's in your ears. She lives in you. So if I was you, switch on Netflix, get the noodles, Chinese noodles, whatever, and enjoy. Enjoy and rejoice that she is in you. Okay? And
I
rejoice
am
the
doing
fact.
that because of this guy. This is my son. I met him after 8 months, and I
Uh,
have started eating food again. Because of this guy, I have started eating food
okay,
again. Otherwise, I was on a one-time meal, only
good.
one-time meal dieting because of this guy. Because I can see a part of my wife in him. So that
Definitely.
is why I'm, yeah.
Yeah, so all is not lost. You've got your son here, okay? And you can bond with your son and fulfill now the rest of their life as you and your wife in your own physical body. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
I think 100% understood. No, I would say 1,000%. I think she has occupied my heart. I think she's sitting inside. Because person, see, many people they die. Some people they get over the grief in 3 months, some 6 months, some years, come to some in lifetime. They cannot get out of that grief till their lifetime. So it is just a matter of getting the normalcy to the life. You're right. Your advice is like the best advice. I don't need even to go anywhere else. I mean, what more can you tell? Perfect, you told to me.
Okay.
I
So
don't even have to think anything more about what you told.
that's good. So just bring yourself back, enjoy your life. Thank God that you have your son. You're lucky. Other people may not even have that. You have that. Okay? And continue on the positive energy. Yesterday, funny enough, I had a session with an Indian gentleman, and I don't know him. We've never met. And Kathy, you'd like this, by the way. He made the booking through a third party. So I had a completely different name. I had an Arabic name. And I thought, interesting. I have an Arabic client. And then he shows up, and it's an Indian gentleman. He's a bit older. And next thing is, I told him to be quiet because I'm going to pick up and share things with him. He fully understood. His wife came through. Her first message to him was incredible. She said, all is not lost. You have her. And I said this to him, and he was overjoyed. Immediately, he became very emotional. And he said, I know who you're talking about, and I know what it means. I said, okay, don't tell me. Then I picked up that it's his wife on the other side who he lost and so forth. And then he told me that they had one daughter, and they have one daughter. And when she's saying that all is not lost, you have her, she's referring to the daughter. And then she started telling him, I need you to do this. I need you to go back to cooking. Apparently, he used to cook with his wife. Put the music on loud.
Wow.
Okay, put the music loud. And his tears would come down, and I said, go back to the cooking with your daughter and start to cook. I'm not saying here to boast of my ability or whatever. What I'm saying is, this is what they want from the other side, for us to be happy. Okay? So, Sachin, good effort. One way or the other, you've survived from September till now. But now the real mission begins, and that is to simplify things and be happy. Stop punishing
One
yourself.
one question, because you told me this. Very potent question this is. Maybe people must have asked you before. When you said that, or just with your recent experience with the Indian gentleman, do the spirits, they see what we are doing? Do they see? Do they have the ability? Because their senses are lost. Eyes, nose, ears, everything is lost. Do they see? Can they see us? Can they see us?
I'm sorry,
If they can see us, my wife
I'm sorry, I'm enjoying a coke.
wouldn't.
Sorry.
Yeah, please enjoy your coke.
Answer to you, they can see far more than eyes can see. They see us. Of course, they see us. They hear us. They feel us.
They feel us.
Oh, yeah, they feel us. They see us physically. They see us without eyes. They don't need eyes. They hear us. They can speak. So some mediums are clairaudient where they can actually hear them. I'm not that way, but I do pick
Wow.
some words sometimes. However,
Sometimes.
you do have your private moments. So, for instance, if you're going to go into the shower, they can't necessarily see you then because that's your private moment. You see?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at other times, yeah, they see us. The challenge for them is to respect natural law, in that you cannot be influenced in the decisions that you make because of them. So they might see
Oh,
you, for instance, they might see you drinking and indulging in drink, and that's not good for you, for instance. They cannot involve themselves. They might try to inspire you one way or the other, like, or inspire me, like, Garo, uh, maybe I need help, maybe I need to talk to someone, I'm drinking too much or doing something that way in a very subtle way. But they cannot intervene because this is your life, your journey, your karma.
yeah, that is true. Actually, someone is even stopping me from smoking these days. I used to smoke like 5, 6 cigarettes in a day. Someone last 20, 25 days is stopping me. It is telling me that if you smoke, the smoke itself is so bad that you're taking inside, and it is like, gutter. It is filth, it is like, filth. Don't smoke. There are things which are happening with me, but they are on a very subtle level. They are on a very gross level. They are not in a very factual level. Hopefully, someday they will happen in a factual level. This is why my spiritual journey and my meditation is that I can also little bit see. Now, for example, you said that they can hear, they can do more than us. It means that my wife might be here in this house. She might be right besides me. She might be standing here, right? I mean, it might happen. She might be here
Yeah,
behind me. What do
definitely.
you say? She might be here. She might be standing right here,
She
my
might,
wife.
yes, she might be.
She might, yes.
Yeah,
So,
but
ac- actually, I
one
will share.
thing I would advise you to do is to start thinking, uh, what you just said. She might be standing here or behind you or whatever. I want you to forget that, and I want you to understand one thing. Uh, might is not the word to use here, because I want you to focus that your wife is living in your heart. She's living inside you
Okay.
all the time. So the energy or whatever, she might be here, might be there, or whatever, that's completely insignificant. But if you
Okay.
understand that she actually lives in your heart, and I am going to write an article about this, by the way, this was my next article to come up, that she actually lives
Yeah.
in your heart, then wherever you go, she could be in front of you, behind you, on top of you, whatever. The main thing is that she's in your heart.
Basically, as per our mythology, the person, the entity which stays in the heart is God, basically. This is your chakra, anad chakra, they say, heart chakra or the anad chakra. And your God actually stays. Like we are like, I am, studying this chakra science. We have six chakras. First is the from below just below the penis, there is the
I know the
Muladhara chakra,
chakras.
where
I
all
know
the
the
energy is concentrated.
yeah. I know the chakras. They're
Achha,
actually
okay, you know the chakras.
I know the chakras. They're actually seven, not six.
Seven. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah.
So in whatever they're located, nobody knows. The spirit is always with us. Okay.
Yes, yes.
I watched an American movie which I will be referencing on the next article called 1883. Kathy, you may have watched it. I'm not sure. Uh, a
1883?
1883. I watched it on Netflix, and it was absolutely beautiful. I got hooked on watching the whole thing. I couldn't move. It's like a series. So I watched it,
Mhm.
and there's one part that touched my heart so much. I watched that part maybe 10 times. It's a short part, and I'm not going to say it now, but I will share it with the article. So, Sachin, make sure that you read my next article because it will include that part from the movie, which is exactly what I'm trying to convey to you. Because when somebody says something and you know that it's true, you feel it. You feel, yes, this is it. And this is what happened with me. When I heard the part being said in the movie, this old man was giving comfort to a young lady who lost the person that she loved, and he told her something. And even now, as I'm speaking, I've got the hairs standing up all over me. It was so incredible. It was so powerful. So I'll share it with you guys when in the next couple of days, hopefully, maybe sooner.
Okay, okay. One thing I'm telling you, because you have reminded me a little bit about your previous blogs. I had written, I think it was like 7 months back, I had read about your blog, and in which you had written that there was a robbery in your house. And you had helped the police, your local police, to trace the robber because you already knew beforehand who the robber was, actually, with the name. Now, I just read, I was just learning, I'm still into learning process. Now, this thing, there is a person in India, he's quite famous, he has got like huge crowd, lakhs of people are there, and he basically also tells, like, suppose for example, if I'm that person and if you're Mr. Garo and I'll just call you, and you will come, and I have already written 5 minutes 10 minutes before you come, I have written your all information, where you stay, your wife, your family problems, what is the real question, why you're coming to me. So he knew this beforehand, beforehand, just like you knew who the robber was. So that for me is very intriguing, that that people have certain powers. We grew up, we grew up in our childhood watching Superman and Spider-Man as people with special powers. This was our childhood. We saw DC. But slowly, after 8 September, I was trying to research that how people can actually divulge themselves into knowing something which cannot know. For example, now if you have a banknote in your wallet, or I have a banknote in my wallet, and if I was supposed to tell you what are the numbers on that banknote, that would be interesting, because how can you, it is not transparent, it is opaque, but still you can tell, means there is something. From a layman point of view, they say, oh, medium shiva, this was all fake, and everything. People just disregard. On the first time when you try to explain them anything, you will just have total disregard. Oh, these people are con men and this and that. But now, people, if you connect people worldwide, people are doing this actually. Even little bit, if you are doing, then the person will believe. Not a lot of people, I hope you agree with my opinion, not a lot of people believe that we are talking with spirits and everything. But this, your last post 5 months back, in which you actually knew about the robber taking robbery. So can you tell us, like, did you have did you just meditate, or how did you know that who is the name, what is the name of the robber actually, if you can recollect from your post?
Um, the story that you're referring to, uh, we had the robbery in my parents' home, and
Oh, yes, yes.
yeah, and what happened is I a couple of days before it happened, I had this weird dream, and
Oh,
so that sort of uh, indicated to me that there's something that's going to happen, something that's not right. So,
oh,
but I didn't know how to interpret it. I didn't know what's going on. So later, when the robbery took place, and unfortunately, it was very devastating to the family.
oh,
When
oh,
when the police were investigating, I found that one of the policemen was asking me, "What do you think? What do you think?" Every few minutes, like he'd say, "Garo, what do you think about this? What do you think about that?" What's intriguing is not because I told him, I said, "Look, I feel that this guy has something to do with it. I just feel it. He can't look me in
okay.
the eyes," and I felt it. But what's intriguing for me is why did that policeman start to ask me, "What do you think? What do you think? What do you feel?" So my guess is, in hindsight later, is that that policeman was probably very intuitive himself, and he felt probably that he could ask me as another person who's intuitive. There are some people who are uniquely gifted, who are beautifully gifted, without them even putting
Yes, exactly.
words. Yeah.
Yes.
However, Sachin, please listen to this very carefully. You said something about somebody reading the number of, let's say, a banknote in your pocket. And I've heard of such things. There is, parallel to many realities out there, there is a reality out there which I don't like, unfortunately, and that is magic. It is used a lot and quite wrongly. It's used for selfish gains, it's used for material gains, and so forth. And these
Okay.
uh, extremely uh, uh, powerful magicians, as it were, rely
Yeah.
on the help of spirits, but from the lower dimensions, who would do these
Oh, yes, yes.
who
Exactly, exactly. Now, this is exactly,
would do
exactly,
these things.
exactly.
However, in your case, what I can do for you now is, do you have the money in your wallet now? Do you have money in your wallet
I,
now?
yeah, I have money. I have
Don't-
Indonesian money. I
okay,
have
don't show me. But what I'm going to do for you now is I'm going to say uh, that the money that you have in your wallet has numbers 574988872. And if you check and it's not true, you need to prove me wrong and post me that money in your wallet, send it to me so I can check for myself.
I like that, Garo.
Yeah, but that's what they do. That's what they do. Trust me, the power of this magic thing is very, very powerful. Very powerful. I've given
but
given talks about this.
what you said about the lower spirits, they use the lower spirits in order to gain material gains,
Yeah.
to attract the material gains. There are several I have seen, because I feel that there is no way that from a crowd of 100,000, he just randomly picks up a person. Hey, hello, please come. You with a yellow t-shirt, with a
Yeah.
yellow shirt, you please come. Once you come, okay, your wife, your wife and you have problems. Your daughter has got autism. You have this, you have that, XYZ problems. And that person is like, yes, 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 yes. So he keeps on telling. Now he picks up a total stranger from the crowd and he tells everything about himself, all his problems, his health problems, everything what this guy fellow is going to tell. So that I felt is unusual, because it's like that you also told me before we met, you said that don't tell me anything about your wife. And I think you tell this to all your clients, that don't tell. And then you start speaking that this happened, and that itself is a proof that there is something which is out there, which is not, means that is what I'm trying to understand, and layman can never understand that. layman is there, he can never understand those things, because people, they do these things. They do these things. One thing I'm telling you, see, like this, I don't believe in any. See, I want to believe, but until I see with my own eyes, now I'm sorry, because it is something in me, I need to believe. So one lady had come and she was like weeping, sobbing in front of this person, Bageshwar Dham Maharaj. Yes, he was sobbing. And she said that you lost your child, you had a miscarriage. On the eighth month, you had a miscarriage. And she, yes, I had a miscarriage. This was my first child. And she was inconsolably weeping. And he said that on the next, after 2 years, this same child will come, just like the sun, it never stops setting from the east, rising from the east, sorry. Likewise, it is Hindi, so I'm translating into English. I might go wrong. So, likewise, after 2 years, this boy, this child which has miscarried, this after 2 years, this child will come back in your womb, and I guarantee you that it will have a mole somewhere in his body. He told. So that was the kind of guarantee he gave. First of all, he told that you had a miscarriage. She never told that she had a miscarriage. Then she said that your husband and his mother, your mother-in-law and husband, they don't get well along, so they are trying to separate both of you. So all these things means there is a rebirth. I thought that there is a hope, there is a rebirth. Maybe what I could not do, then again I am coming to my wife, it always comes back to her. I'm sorry, but this is the way. So I thought that maybe there is a hope. If I could not be a good husband this birth, then I will just do my things and pass away one day. And I will at least try to do something, I will try to do. That is my only hope. See, person cannot live without hope. Everyone has hope. Someone sees the child, he lives his life. Someone sees his money, he will live his life. He will not need anything. He will think, oh, I'm a billionaire, I'm alone, I'm standalone, I don't need anyone. Someone will see someone thing and they will just live their life. But someone needs hope. If there is no hope, if hope is lost, then there is no interest in life. The life is not attract. Nothing will attract him.
So are
So
you
my
saying that
only hope.
are you saying that you're hoping to come back? Is that what you're saying? What are you saying exactly?
Actually, we have been so open. I hope that I come back and do as her husband, as his wife. I don't know what, but I hope that in my next life, I get reincarnated and I complete my life journey with her, because she also had some aspirations. She had some desires. Of course, when we do a session, I really want to hear that what she wants. I have been told by a medium before you. I told you already. She said that you marry. She wants me to marry again. I don't think so. I can marry any other woman, because like you said, she's in my heart. Every time I see a woman, I try talk to two or three women, because it's a long life. I'm 46. I tried that also, but it always ends up with her, because I instantly start making comparison. Oh, she was so faithful. She was so kind. She was always smiling. She never took advantage of my situation. She could have just take advantage. When she had a fight, she could have said, I want a divorce. I want half your property. You know how women are in this world. I'm not saying all women are bad. Men are also equally bad. But when there is a fight, they will just simply say, okay, I want a divorce. Give me 50% of your wealth. That's it. I'll live my life. But she was not like that. She was like, I had a fight with her and tell, okay, you want my property? I'll give you half my property. I said, no. She said to me, no, I don't want your property. You just live happily. I'll go and live somewhere else. That
Okay, Sachin.
I just want to say one thing. I think Sachin, you would really enjoy. Okay, because I'm hearing all your desires. There was a movie done by Robin Williams. It was a what dreams may come, and it's got some sad parts in. Have you seen it before, Garo?
Yes, I did.
What dreams may come?
Yeah, I did.
What dreams may come with Robin Williams?
Yes.
It's making me think. And I think that you would enjoy that, Sachin. So it's with Robin Williams, What Dreams May Come. And I think you would enjoy that. I mean, even though it has some very sad and upsetting parts, it's got an interesting ending, I think. Don't you think, Garo?
I don't remember it a lot now, but I remember parts of it, I think, and I love the movie.
Yeah. It's good. So you should watch that, Sachin. I
Yeah.
think it might give you hope of what you're looking for.
Robin Williams, sorry, Robin
Robin
Williams.
Williams.
Yeah.
Robin,
Robin Williams as an actor, and What Dreams May Come. It's a very old movie, probably maybe 30 years old or something. I don't know. It's a very old movie, so
Sure.
you'd have to research where to get it. But
So,
yes, I actually feel very good talking with you guys because my brain is full of memories. See, it triggered a sad memory. There was a movie of Tom Hanks, if you might have seen, and it was a very touching movie. This I saw before my wife passed away, and in that, Tom Hanks just lives in life. I think he misses his wife, and one day he just dies. It is a very sad, it is a very nice movie. Tom Hanks is there in that movie. It's just that it is the way, it is if you lose your life partner, either husband and wife, because this husband and wife relationship is so close. I think it is more even close than your children because we are together in each and everything. The husband and wife are there. They are bonded in many ways, mental level, physical level, every level they are bonded. And once the bond is broken, then there is a problem. Children bond, we bond in different people in different ways. With children, we bond in a different way. In a parents, we don't bond in a different way. So it is like much more, what Garo said to me is right. I will try to be positive in my life. And about reincarnation, I believe, at least I want to believe this. I also respect all your views upon your culture, but my hope is that someday maybe she's waiting. I might get reincarnated. I would love to be her wife and she my husband, or anyways possible. But complete this journey because it is halfway done. I don't know how far this will happen because, like Garo said, we have a choice where we want to choose a womb. Particular womb can be chosen. What I have read, the spirit, it chooses the womb at the right time of the conception. It will
uh,
choose the womb and it will
I
go
didn't.
with
I didn't
it.
say anything like that. I didn't say any about choosing a womb or something like that. That's completely different.
No, sorry. That is what I read. It is
Okay.
just that what you said was the spirits have a choice.
Okay.
Like you said, that is right because they have a choice actually
No,
where
no,
they
no.
want
but
to
Wait.
they
go.
have a choice to come back or not.
Yeah, I've
They don't
said
get.
exactly what Kathy said. A choice to come back, but I don't believe.
Oh, come.
Yeah, I don't believe necessarily in the choice that we choose our path before coming back, because this
Oh,
to me sounds illogical. I mean, if we are going to say that people choose to come back in a certain to go in a certain path, are you going to tell me that 6.5 million Jews chose to come back to be slaughtered the way they did? It doesn't make sense to me.
exactly. Now, here is the tantra, the Jews who have died. Many of them died in a very horrible way, where children and mothers were sent. It is like most despicable act what these people did. It is the darkest chapter, one of the darkest chapter. You can't send a mother and son, and there is no pardon for that. That is also one thing that which part of the devil played the role in this whole episode. Devil has played a role. Most certainly, there is a devil. When things like this happen, there has to be a negative power. Where there is a power and the light of God, sir,
Okay,
there has to be a negative.
well, look, I'm not going to speculate. I haven't tapped into that sort of energy. What's behind it, I don't know. But one thing I know is that people can turn into savages just like that. People can turn into savages. I've seen it time and time again. I grew up in Lebanon during the war, and I've seen people behave like pigs sometimes.
Oh my God.
Okay? People can turn into savages just at the drop of the hat. I have friends from India, I have friends from Pakistan. I love them both very dearly. And we meet sometimes for drinks, we meet for social gathering. And about a month ago, they were nearly going to kill each other. People can shift. And this is the growth that we need to do, to learn not to go down that path, not to harness that hatred, not to allow hatred in. The devil can be the devil, they can do whatever they want. but it's us who are allowing ourselves or the devil or whatever it is to behave that way. And we need to stop this. And it's still going on. Now, even worse, because now you have the hatred in people. It's coming out on social media. It's coming out in ways that are quite incredible. People spit on each other, hurt each other, and we need to
Social
stop.
media is not something which one should now go. It is really bad out there. It is just doing venom there.
So
I also avoid.
people need to learn to control it and to learn to work through it. Why do I hate the person? Why am I hating this person so much that I want to hurt them so much? They need to learn to go through it and to ask themselves these questions. Unfortunately, it's very sad that so many people have died, the Jews, of course, and so many others. Until now, it's going on in the world. Until we reach such time when we start to understand that enough is enough.
Yeah, that is a very intriguing question about.
So basically,
Yes.
the whole thing was about if we choose our path. I gave the Jews and the Holocaust as an example, but equally,
Not
but
able
equally,
to understand
other,
this. Yeah,
but equally there are many
very tough.
equally there are many arguments to disapprove this theory, because people come here and they lose a child to cancer, they lose a loved one in the most tragic way, the suffering that comes. What purpose does this serve? Nothing. It brings pain, it brings it moves them away from God, and it serves no good purpose. So this, unfortunately, there's many people out there who write books, who write articles, come up with these theories that we choose our path. And I asked one day, I challenged a psychic, and I said, why? What's the purpose behind someone coming here to be raped, to be killed, or whatever? And they said, because there's a lesson in it. I said, absolute rubbish. You're talking rubbish. Absolute rubbish. No one likes to come here and learn a lesson from murder or something like that. Absolute rubbish. We
Yeah.
want to live in harmony. We want to be loved. We want to love. This is what humans are. What lesson does it serve if I come here and I raise my daughter till, let's say, 16, and then she dies at the hands of some psycho who stabs her and kills her? What lesson is that? That's absolute nonsense.
Yeah, that is all. Yeah, that is what I have read, and that is what is being told. But again, like our opinions differ. That means I am not so qualified, or I am not even. I'm just scratching the tip of the icebergs with these things.
Yeah,
So of course, I
Sakshi,
cannot
the main thing.
many things.
The main thing is why I always repeat this to my people, and I always make it public. We're all taken by those who know, those gurus or people who are gifted, or we all listen to them like, wow, their opinion. And I always say, no, look at what makes sense. I don't know if you watch Judge Judy. I'm a big fan of this woman. She's an American judge. She's, very tough woman. Yeah. And I love, she is black and white, full stop. Don't play games with me. And I love, she says, if something doesn't make sense, it's not true. Simple. This is how she works in her court. And she deals with one case after the other. She's a grown woman now, bless her soul. But she is very spot on. The basic rule. If something doesn't make sense, it's not true. Always ask yourself. So be careful of what you read. Be careful of people who preach things. Be careful of what people, mediums and psychics, giving their opinions. This is all their opinion. It doesn't mean, it doesn't reflect the reality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Earlier before you showed up, Garo, Sachin was telling me that he feels, and he's researching even past life regression, things like that, of what did he do in another life to deserve the pain that he's going through by losing his wife at such a young and horrible, quick death. Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, you popped in, so I wasn't able to say that, but I don't believe, I really don't believe that we get to choose. I don't, like you said, things happen, and maybe someday when we're on the other side, we'll understand why these things happened. But I don't know because we don't know that for sure if we'll know. But I didn't believe that. I call him my other son, and he passed away. He was what, 43 years old, and he was, just a year older than my biological son. But why would he choose to be born with a single mom that was a drug addict, that was an alcoholic, that he had no family, he lived, in shelters, he was hungry all the time, and at 14 he ended up in a foster care, and he was abused in his foster care, and he ran away from home at the foster care at 16 to have this terrible life of just, and this guy is like intelligent beyond, like almost Einstein intelligent he was. But in his logical brain, I mean, he was able to, get all kinds of jobs, but he worked long enough to get the money for his drugs and then go off, right? But in his brain, he just couldn't comprehend that when he was in rehab with my son, they were just going to put him out in the street. No money, no job, in Alaska, no friends or relatives, which he didn't have really relatives, but he had friends down in Tennessee, but they shipped him up here. And so my son called me up, and he was in rehab. He didn't make it that time. My son got out of rehab, went back to drugs. My other son was good here, but he calls up and he says, my son said, can this kid, can Will stay with you guys, right? And he says, he's a good guy, Mom. He says, I'm around a bunch of, people that are just trying to get out of prison to go to rehab just so they can continue their drugs and continue their bad stuff. This guy stays alone. I know he's a good person. I know his heart, right? So I said, sure. And so he was here only 2 or 3 weeks. He ended up staying here for 8 weeks that time, but if they went off, I mean, he's been back and forth for 10 years. But he looks at me one day and he says, Kathy, why would you let a complete stranger and a drug addict, no less, right, to come into your home who could, and he was computer savvy, could steal all your identity, could do this, could do that, steal your computers, could sell shit and whatnot. Why would you do that? I said, because my son asked me, and my son said, he knows your heart. So therefore, I'm not turning my back on you. You're now family. And he was family, like I said, for 10 years. So the whole point is that you have to trust your gut, your intuition, the people that you love that are steering you right and saying, and so then one day he finally pulled me over and just said, well, Kathy, you can't just open your, your heart and your home to all kinds of drug addicts. And I said, I know that. God has given me the ability to feel people's hearts, to know basically these are good people. They're not evil people. They have problems, they have issues. And I'm going to love you till the day you die, right? So, you have to trust some of that and open some of that and yet still be wary, like Garo says. Don't go off the deep end, because yes, all the crap that we have, the money, whether you're a millionaire, billionaire, whatever you have, or you just have your little tiny house, you don't need to give it all away, but you need to get yourself balanced, because it sounds like you realize you were out of balance, right? You were out of balance, and now that just threw you for a whole loop because she was the love of your life. You can't just go off the deep end. And I think that God does give us something called intuition that we have to trust. And just like you, Garo, I said, that's when I know God's speaking to me and like you say, the truth. When you get goosebumps, like I get physically goosebumps, like I was been told to go back around and pick up a hitchhiker, and I thought, no, I don't want to do it. And then I was told to do it, So if you listen close enough, you'll know what's right.
I agree. I absolutely agree. If you listen to your intuition, if you listen to yourself, and it's a fine line, because where do you draw the line between wishful thinking or is it an actual intuition? And you need to really listen to yourself. So that's the only thing that can guide you in life. And it won't fail you, your intuition. Incidentally, that's one reason why I've discovered, that's one reason why, for instance, I'm sorry, I'm jumping the ship here. Women have intuition that's much higher than men. And it's a fact.
Yeah.
And that's one reason why conmen, for instance, who want to prey on other males, they will make them steer them away from their female partners because the female will pick up, but the man is like a potato. They will not pick up and they will be taken for a ride. I've learned this the hard way, and I've now listened to my wife. She's my radar.
Yeah. I had at one time a priest, not a priest, but a minister talking in a thing saying that, they're trying to literally use the Bible saying, okay, God says the man's the head of the household and what he says go and whatnot. And this minister was talking about that. He says, well, yes, but, God also gave her as your partner and she, should be, equally, into it. And he said only 2 times in his life when his wife said, don't do this. It was buying this new car one time and then something else that his wife says, this really isn't good, honey. But of course he used his power. I'm the man of the house. And he said the two big money investments and something else that turned out to be bad. His wife totally spoke against it. He still did whatever. And, because God, I feel, does give women intuition and you got to trust it,
Yeah, we learned this way. I had to learn this through the hard way myself. My wife didn't like a certain person who was involved with me in business, and she said, "Don't trust him. Be careful." I didn't listen to her. I was taken by his story. Turned out that he's a big con man, and he stole a lot of money from me. So when I went to see a lawyer here in London, and the lawyer patiently listened to my story, at the end of which she closed the book, she said, what do you intend to do? I said, I want to take him to court. She said, you'll lose a lot of money to claim back the money, and he's not going to pay you. In fact, you might lose the case. She said, go home, consider this a life lesson. Next time, listen to your wife. So, absolutely true. Now I listen to her about nearly everything.
Well, you've got to consider it. Seriously, and then make your own decision. But yes.
Definitely. When I said nearly everything, because the one thing I don't listen to is her input on my cooking, because I'm a better cook than her. And that
There is. May I just interject something here? I don't know. I've just been listening.
Go ahead, please.
It's about the differences in the different religions. It's more for Sashin than Garo. When I was in college eons ago, we studied comparative religions, and we studied 14 different religions. But the way it worked was the professor had 4 different books about comparative religion. One was written by a Christian. One was written by someone who grew up with Taoism. One was Aramaic, and I forget what the third one or the fourth one was. But we got to see how other religions compared their religion to other religions, as opposed to just the Christian analysis of other religions, or the Chinese analysis of other religions, or the Muslim analysis of other religions. And it helps kind of put all the religions are the same, and that's where we get the one being. So reincarnation exists in almost every religion, but they call it something different, right? The soul passes on, right? And so it's kind of interesting that we all believe the same things, except we all believe the same things in different ways.
That's
pretty much.
Very interesting point there, and thank you for sharing it with us. And yes, they are very similar, and with some censorship here and there. They changed a few things and so forth. The meaning is different. Some people tell me the reincarnation is not in the Bible. Well, okay, a microwave oven is not in the Bible. Does that mean a microwave oven doesn't exist? It exists. Yeah. So reincarnation absolutely exists, and we see it all over the world. I didn't believe in it at one point for some personal reason, but it happened to me as well. And now I say absolutely it does exist. So there you go. But thank you, Bill. Lovely to hear from you today, and lovely to see you at long last.
He does always listen over in my corner, But
yeah. Please don't deprive us. Next time there's a meeting, please do the honors and join us, because I love your energy.
when they were talking about reincarnation before, and Kathy talked about what dreams may come, and the part there is another movie starring Robert Downey Jr. called Chances Are,
yeah,
which is
chances are.
also
So reincarnation type, interesting takes on it. But yeah, so yeah, what chances are with Robert Downey Jr. and what dreams may come with Robin Williams, and I think that that will give Sachin some real hope and interesting take about reincarnation.
One thing I want to tell you, madam, regarding the reincarnation, when the child is there in mother's womb, he is continuously breathing through his stomach. He is not. When that child is taken out from his mother's womb, the umbilical cord is still attached. Till the umbilical cord is attached, that child inside the mother wombs remembers everything. This is what I have through a guru. Through a guru, I have read and everything. Till the child is there in the mother womb, he remembers everything of his past life. But as soon as the doctor cuts the umbilical cord, that is the moment of that. The child he will take his first breath through the nose. Till the umbilical cord is cut, the child remembers everything. And now this past life is all gone. But through certain meditation processes, the past life is shifted here in this part. Maybe Sir Garo sir knows more about it. And this is what I have read. Your everything is stored here. It is inside you. What your past life, all the past lives. Actually, there are many 25, 30, 40, even more. There are different yonis. Yonis means like reproductive system, like female has reproductive system, animals have reproductive system, 84 lakh reproductive. It goes deep. It goes very deep. I have got hundreds of books to read when I'm going back in India. It runs like crazy deep. It runs all these things.
Okay,
So till that time,
can I stop you here before I forget? Do me a favor, when you go back to India, please, please, I beg you, do not read these books.
oh,
Okay, stop
okay,
reading these books. Stop going deep. I don't want you to go deep. I want you to come back to Sachin.
oh,
I
yeah,
don't know where you're
that is
going. Okay, you're going somewhere where I think at the end of it, it's just ink and paper. Okay, we don't know
You
the.
know,
We know that.
there's proof.
Sorry.
I was just going to say really quick, there is proof, Sachin. I believe you that we all probably have past lives, right? I
Yes.
mean, I don't know. They've shown children that they've interviewed that start talking about it, about their other mommy or their, and that they died in a fire, and it was, and this one child, it turns out, he was actually a black woman, right? Back in the Great Chicago Fire, right? And he remembers jumping. I mean, he could give all the specifics and whatnot. And then so they researched it and they came up with people that had died. So they had like 8 or 10 photos of black women who had passed in this Great Chicago Fire, and he could point out that that was me. Okay, so I mean, so we all know. And then I think children, like Garo says too, also they're more intuitive. They sometimes speak to spirits. But a lot of times they lose that ability because they go on with their life. But I'm just saying that these kids do remember those things. But I think that Garo's saying is it productive from here on out? You have to, concentrate on being a good man, a good person for yourself, for your son, for your happiness, for your life, right? And instead of deep diving of all these different things.
Absolutely.
Our life
yeah,
is here.
that is a big positive. Actually, reincarnation is there, and there is a one should have a hope to live on. If you are losing someone in this life, maybe you have some hope that there is too much of a asking that who knows after I die what is going to happen and X Y Z. But at least some positivity is there that what I could not complete, I'll try to be a better person. Maybe see, our opinions might differ. We are all individual people, but maybe this time it's a learning lessons. My ego was cut into half. Many people have an ego on horizon basically, and one day certain things happen, their ego is cut into half. Maybe this was my life lesson. Maybe this had to happen. I don't know about it.
Well, that's what I'm
I
saying.
don't have any ego.
Watch these
I
movies
feel
and
sorry
it
to
will.
everyone. Before I had ego, I used to say, "Oh, why like this? Why like that? I'm right." Now it's not. No, I'm sorry. You're great. You're nice. I bow down to everyone. I'm in a very humble in my attitude. I have no religious. If you're a Muslim, I'll still love you. You're a Catholic, still love you. I'm a Buddhist, still love you. It is all gone. There is no religion for me. There are no international borders for me. I see everyone with the kindness and love. So maybe it was my life lesson. Maybe I don't know.
You never know.
I'm
But one
okay.
day you will know. The main thing is just take the good from it. And if you feel that you've come out as a better person, then reflect that and teach your son and enjoy your life with him. As Kathy said, enjoy being who you are now. And just that. As I said before, leave the books alone, please. Don't lose yourself to books. Okay, books are written by humans and they have limited knowledge. The object of the book also is to sell. So there's a lot of things that they add to spice things up to make it wow, amazing. So be very
It is
careful.
so wonderful. I just heard this from a guru 3 years. Means he is now departed. But one of his lectures, he exactly said the same thing that books will not give you any knowledge. Only a guru can give through his mouth. He can give knowledge. How things are connected. Three hours back, this he said. I
Yeah,
was watching his YouTube, and you are saying
yeah.
really everything is
But
connected.
but even if a guru says things as well, be careful. I always think of what I'm saying. Is this me thinking, or is this something that's coming to me from spirit? What's going on here? And Sachin, before I started my service, I went through a very long process, not of
Oh,
learning how to do it, but a process of therapy inside so that I can learn to differentiate. Is it my own opinion, my own thoughts, or is it indeed coming through? And I had to learn how to separate. A lot of people, it's their
oh,
own opinion. So you have to be careful. Okay. So anyway, I'll leave you with that, and I hope that it works out for you. As I said,
thank you.
I am a very firm believer in reincarnation. It happened to me. Kathy, I don't know if I've shared this with you before, if you've had one of the meetings where I've revealed what happened with me personally. Um,
No.
okay. Uh, in in short, I used to get a lot of dreams that I'm in South America and I'd hear Spanish. I never
Oh,
liked Spanish. I never liked Spanish music, Spanish food. If my wife and I we were boyfriend girlfriend, if we'd end up anywhere and there's Latin music, I would go crazy. I didn't want to be there.
oh,
So over the years, it was really a big problem for us, for me at least, because I never had the answer until one day I got sort of a dream where I saw a soldier in South America in a bus and so forth, and they're all talking Spanish, and something told me that I am this man, or I used to be this man, this fighter, this soldier.
oh,
Years later, we were invited to a wedding in Mexico, and I arrived and we were having a great time at the wedding, and I enjoyed a couple of drinks. And then I found myself really getting into the party, dancing, and which I don't do, it's not me, and having a great time. When we left the party to go to our room, we were taken in a small buggy, and the driver is Mexican. My wife said, I got in the front. I don't remember this. I got in the front and sat with the guy. And when we arrived, which was like a 2-minute journey, when we arrived, my wife's face had turned white. And she said to me, Since when do you speak Spanish? I said, What do you mean? She said, Don't you remember? You were speaking with this guy in Spanish all the way. I said, I don't even remember
oh,
that. Apparently, I spoke Spanish with him all the way to the room. And she said, You were chatting away in perfect Spanish. She said, Non-stop. I don't even remember that. What happened? I have no idea. But I do know that, as I said to you before, it happened for a fact with me. So now I changed my opinion. There is reincarnation, okay, but we don't
oh.
know how it works. We don't know how what things happen. Now,
Yeah.
I hope in your journey that you'll find more peace, Sachin. Please, as I said before I leave you in peace here, please seek someone professional to speak to help you through some of these very difficult things that you have to go through right now or you're going through right now, okay? You need some support, and hope we will see you again in our next meetings, okay?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, I really very grateful to you by you to conduct this session. It was very nice knowing
Thank you.
without even you talk very important aspects of everything today.
Thank you. You lovely people, do you have any questions before we leave?
No, I'm sorry though that more people didn't get the opportunity to hear you, Garo, because I think, you do speak from the heart and you do, you have that gift in you that can be spread out. And, I think that like you're motivated from the heart. You're not trying to be like the biggest known psychic or medium or whatever, and it's because you want to do service to all the good people that need hope, that need, validation.
Bless you. I appreciate that, Kathy. And Bill, once again, I am honored to have made your acquaintance today. And Sachin, my best wishes to you. May God bless your path ahead, okay? See you
Thank you.
guys. We'll see you again in the future. Take care.
Bye.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Bye.
Appreciate it.